not losing to this guy that he just couldn't perform at his best. He just was so tied up. And Conor McGregor, he does that to everybody.
Yeah,
he fucks with you so hard. By the time you get in there, you don't even know who you are. He's got you convinced you're a totally different person. You just want to kill him, and then you can't even hit him. It's like it's such a mind fuck when you wind up hating someone.
Yes.
So in that sense, it's got to be a pleasure when you meet a gentleman like Cosmo Alexander, who's a great fighter as well. And you don't have to think about all that jazz. You can just be yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm very lucky with the sport. I haven't had any Conor McGregors or Nick Diaz's that I've faced.
Ever in all your fights?
There was one time I was on a television show called The Contender. And then there was a French gentleman that was sort of getting under everyone's skin, and he was talking a lot of smack. But at the same time...
Yeah, what was that guy's name?
Rafik.
Yeah.
Rafik, and then everyone was coming up to me saying, you got to knock this bloke out, you got to knock this bloke out. And then even the film crew were coming behind the scenes saying, oh, you got to knock this bloke out, you got to get this guy off this show. Because as soon as on our show, as soon as you lost, you went home.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a lot of pressure on myself and then again, the harder you try and knock someone out, the less it happens. And then the more mentally drained you get too, because why haven't I knocked him out yet? Instead of thinking, okay, just do the business, then if something lands, then it goes down. But when the harder you try, the less it happens. Then the more frustrated you get, then the more tired you get because you're mentally drained. So it's a tough gig.
It's that way with everything, man. It's that way with everything. As soon as you get emotionally invested in something like that, and just you're dealing with that other thing, which is even bigger and more central to your thoughts than your actual task at hand. You're dealing with this talk jazz, blah blah blah, which is you're gonna fight. I mean, you're gonna engage in the most intense form of competition ever, and you're concentrating on this bullshit, like talking bullshit. Like, what difference does it make what we say if we're gonna fight? Well, the difference is if you can fuck with a guy's emotions, he can't fight good. It's crazy.
At the weigh-in with Cosmo at the airport, I bought myself a little boomerang souvenir, and then I presented that to Cosmo at the weigh-in, and then we hugged and shook hands and took a photo with the boomerang, and it was just a gentleman gesture. It's like, oh well, at least you're going to remember me. But then you look at the UFC, and then you got Dana White standing in the middle, and they're holding guys back. It's like, well, 24 hours time, you're going to punch each other in the face anyway. So why all this acting?
Yeah,
like, it's not. And then same with Conor McGregor and Aldo. Every time they get together, it's like, well, technically you can't really do it now. You're both going to get in a lot of trouble, or you're going to get fined by either the commission or Dana or UFC, or so just. Can't you just be? I know it sells tickets too. I know it's riveting. It's so you can't not watch it. You can't not tune into the websites and the replays. But yeah, I suppose being a gentleman sometimes can be boring compared when you look at it like that.
It's kind of a catch-22, right? It's like, because you can make a lot of money by being an asshole.
Yes.
Right? I mean, God, people pay attention to you. It becomes this huge media selling point. It's the story. And look, the John Jones-Daniel Cormier fight, I do believe that John Jones is the best light heavyweight on the planet. And I think he beat Daniel Cormier because he's incredibly skillful and because he's just so good. But I also believe that Daniel Cormier was fucked up going into that fight emotionally, because John had talked so much shit to him. They got in a fight at the weigh-ins where they literally were throwing punches at each other, and they had to be separated. It was a giant brawl. It wasn't a weigh-ins, rather. It was a press conference.
Yeah.
Giant brawl at the press conference, knocking people over, throwing shoes at each other. I mean, it was madness. But John can handle that stuff better than Daniel can.
Yes.
John can still perform at the same level under those circumstances. I don't think Daniel did.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was insane. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Well, that's Conor too. I mean, part of what Conor's doing is fucking with people. Like, that's what Muhammad Ali did to Sonny Liston.
Yes.
When Muhammad Ali first fought Sonny Liston, he was screaming and yelling at him so bad at the weigh-ins that they weren't going to let him fight, that they thought there was something wrong with him, because his heart rate was so crazy and his blood pressure was so high. They were worried that, like, this guy's not fit to fight.
Yep.
And then he calmed down. He's like, just relax, guys. Go ahead. I know what I'm doing. I'm just fucking with this dude. And it turned out that he knew that Sonny Liston, although he's terrifying and he's this massive hard puncher and knocked everybody dead, he was scared of crazy people.
Yeah.
And that's what Muhammad Ali did. He just acted like a fucking crazy person. He used to drive to Sonny Liston's house. And he would park his car on Sonny Liston's lawn and yell out at him in the middle of the night. Just yell at him.
Really?
Get up, Sonny. I'm going to kick your fucking ass, Sonny. He would say all kinds of crazy shit. Sonny Liston, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Sonny Liston, I'm the man. I'm the champ. The champ is here. He would say all kinds of crazy shit on the lawn. Like on his fucking lawn while the guy's trying to sleep.
He's doing the Shannon Briggs.
Yeah, well, what Shannon Briggs does now, yeah. Shannon Briggs is hilarious, isn't he? Let's go, champ! Do you pay attention to his Instagram? It's amazing.
I was for a while, but then it's on loop. It's pretty much every single video you watch is exactly the same, whereas Ali had a bit of class about it. Or same as Conor. Conor's a genius as well.
Oh, yeah.
The breakout the red panties, like, that's gold. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, break out the red panties, yeah. If you're fighting me, break out the red panties, honey. We made it. Yeah, no, he's a genius. Conor is the best shit talker ever.
How do you even think of that? You're laying in bed, laying on your pillow, thinking, you know what? Yeah, what color panties should my missus wear when we? The red ones. The red ones are probably the best ones.
I don't even think he's thinking it. I think that's just him. I think he's just free and just thinks that way. You know, he's just an amazing shit talker. He's so good at it.
Yeah, I talked to Hans a fair bit between the last couple of days, and he reckons he's such a good guy.
Hans Molenkamp?
Yeah. Hans said when you talk to him one-on-one, he said he's just the nicest, politest gentleman you'll ever meet. And then you put him in front of a stage, and especially in front of those crowds that they're pulling at the weigh-ins and press conferences, and then he just shines and just becomes this different animal, which is a marketing genius at the same time too. They're just a brilliant entrepreneur that's going to be set up for life.
And he wasn't like that earlier in his career. You know, he became like that really when he got to the UFC. I mean, he had a hair of that before. He had a little bit of that before, where he was confident and he would talk well. And I've been following Conor for years. I tweeted him a long time ago, like several years ago, back when he was fighting in England, I believe it was. I think it was England. I'm not sure. Fighting in some overseas organization. I watched it on YouTube, and I was like, this guy's fucking talented. He's talented. He's got a clean left hand, too. His left hand power punch, woof. That's a fucking good night Irene punch, man.
From the southpaw.
Yeah, he's so good at measuring guys, too. Very good at measuring. And he has a very off-speed movement. His movement is unusual, very difficult to time.